took an eternity to reach Pokemon Tower, but I got there eventually, taking a deep breath and heading toward the tombstone. I remembered which one. The image of Stephen standing before it was burned into my mind after all. First, I tried inspecting it. Stephen, Miki. Nothing happened. With a gulp, I opened the menu and selected Missing No from the bag. Oak, Stephen, don't use it. I was reminded of when Professor Oak would magically tell you that you couldn't use a key item somewhere, like when using the bicycle in a building, though the message this time was different. Even worse, Stephen responded to it. Stephen. In a world that cheated me, why should I play fair? Stephen used it. Stephen obtained... What in God's name did I obtain? I couldn't tell you, because the game took away my control. Without my input, Stephen began to leave the tower on his own, walking single step by single step. The Lavender Town theme started again as he left and began his excruciatingly slow journey against my will. Every time he crossed one of the borders where the music would change, it got progressively slower, more and more disturbing. By the time he reached Cerulean City, it was the demonic rumbling. I just stared, watching him, trying to guess where he was going, but it was getting more and more obvious. He was headed to Pallet Town. The music had all but stopped when he got there, playing single note by single note. He went exactly where I had guessed, right to his own house, inside and up the stairs. At this point, there was no music. Stephen moved, step by step, stopping at his brother's bed, turning to face him. At first, I thought the game froze. He didn't do anything, simply stood there, and I couldn't move him. I did, however, find out that I could open up the pause menu. I was terrified to look, but I couldn't stop myself. I selected his trainer card. There was a low growl noise, like a distorted Pokemon cry. Stephen was looking at me again, directly at the screen. He was hunched over, his bangs obscuring his face. His hair was wild and feathered out. Between his bangs, there wasn't even a face at all. Just black. Two red eyes looking straight forward. A wide grin contrasting with the darkness. That wasn't all. His name was now Stephen. I couldn't look away. My eyes glued to his, not breaking contact for some time. My vision was getting blurry and I couldn't see very well. My face grew wet. I was crying, like a baby. There was nothing I could do to hold back the tears. I was with this boy from the start. I built him up to greatness. I was then forced to watch his tragic decline. And now, he was this thing, this abomination. I watched him go insane. Halting my tears, wiping my eyes, I closed out of the trainer card and tried to save the game, wanting to just quit. The game informed me this was impossible. Nothing can be saved now. The pause menu wouldn't close no matter what I did, so with no other option, I checked the bag. Nothing happened. I checked the Pokemon, and there was one. A single sprite met me. It had 0 HP. Its status, dead. Its name... I selected it, and I was greeted with 4 options. Status, it's her. Switch, never. Close, no. Strangle. My fingers shaking. I selected strangle, and the menu closed, showing Steven in the room again. Goodbye. The game shut itself off. I was more dumbfounded than frightened. In a bit of shock, I turned the game back on. Title screen showing the manic, corrupted Steven and a horribly glitched Charizard. I pressed start, then continue. All I saw was a zoomed out view of Pallet Down, showing Steven's home to the west, tall grass surrounding it, those unmovable stones blocking it from the rest of the town. The image was completely static. No music, no movement, before fading to white, going back to the title screen, showing a trainer and a Charizard. I attempted to hit continue. Steven had his back to me, his long hair draped around him, his hair in his pockets. Blooper!